Cartoon. Hiki tu jamani tunaongeza.
And I'm here really this morning to reiterate my earlier message on the sexual exploitation of children. And I'm sure most of you saw the clip from the recent BBC expose that has really cast a dark shadow on our human rights record. As a woman, as a mother and governor of Nakuru County, I affirm that exploitation, and especially of our children, is a crime that will not be tolerated, it will not be excused or ignored under my leadership. I call for accountability at every level: family, community, and leadership. The ongoing investigations must lead to prosecution and a clear commitment to deterrence. I'm sure for those of you who saw the clip, which was widely shared on social media and in many platforms and everywhere, and mainstream media as well, you could clearly see the faces of those women who are narrating. So I'm sure by now, I'm told by our county commissioner and the security team that some arrests have been made, but I am hopeful that it goes all the way to everybody that is involved in this very heinous crime that is happening or has been happening right under our noses. We must understand how this situation arose and identify the enablers, observers, and perpetrators. And I also want to speak to our community. By just watching and not doing anything is not okay. That could be your child, and there is no reason that we should not be able to raise an alarm when this sort of thing is happening, because I don't think that this could have been happening for that long without anybody being aware. And if true as told on the clips that we have seen, if for sure the police or whoever from law enforcement in that area had been informed back when this was recorded and nothing happened, no arrests were made or nothing happened to those officers, then I call upon the Ministry of Interior to do what they need to do, or the IG to do what they need to do, because this is not okay at all. So at the same time, I'm working with national government officials to ensure survivors receive medical care and psychosocial support. Prevention is equally critical. We will use all available social and formal structures for education and surveillance, fulfilling our responsibility not just to respond to abuse, but to stop it before it occurs. Everyone has a role to play. We must not leave this intervention to the police and social workers only, but if you see something, you need to report it. Ending this sexual child exploitation is not a campaign, it is a permanent priority. To this end, I'm appointing a permanent committee to work with national government officials, starting in Maai Mahiu and extending to all parts of the county where such abuse may be occurring. And the members of the committee, you can step forward as I call your name. The members of the committee will be Roslyn Mongai, who will chair the committee. She's our CEC for Health. Zipporah Goge, who is our CEC for Education, will be a member. Gladys Kamuren, our CEO for Gender. Joyce Nsese, she's in another meeting right now, but she's our Public Health CEO. Stella Mwaura will also join the team. She's our CEO. Maureen Litunda, she's a member too from our legal department. And Elizabeth Kiptor will be the secretary. She is in the nursing, public health director. She's a public health director. She may not have been here this morning, but she'll also join the team. And the reason I say this is because we know that it's not an isolated incident in Maai Mahiu, as now the little investigation so far that has taken place has come to reveal. So this committee will visit Maai Mahiu and in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, gather detailed information on child exploitation. Number two, they will identify the root causes of the practice. They will engage stakeholders on sustainable solutions. They will submit the report to me by the 5th of August, 2025. We shall then implement the proposed measures in Maai Mahiu and roll out the initiative across the county. And this will include Kikope, where I'm hearing or I'm told that we may have such problems, such lawlessness or such illegal activities happening. So Kikope, Salga, Total, and other Longonot, and also other areas along the northern corridor. The committee will work with existing resources, mechanisms, and structures across all departments. And they'll also work very closely with our security committee of the county. And once the report is brought, we shall also be having a very big stakeholders meeting drawn from parents, clergy, teachers, business community leaders, and just leaders across the county in the communities, so that we can really get ahead of this and make sure that this never happens to any other girl or boy, for that matter, in this county. And we want to take responsibility, both as government in all the institutions, be they the county government, be they the security apparatus, be they any other institutions that really, and even you as parents and community members, because this should not be happening and everybody's quiet, or that we have our heads in the sand. And I also want to say this without preempting the investigations that are being carried out by the security team. I want you to also know, for those who are carrying out investigations, from the little that I have gathered or heard, kindly do not bring half-baked information or investigations. We are here saying we are ourselves ashamed as this has happened in our county, and so should you be. And that is why I say so should be the community as well and everybody else involved. Every grown-up really around that area who has known and said nothing. But I also want to make sure that we are not covering up for anybody or for anything. We shall not look at who delivered the story. We shall actually get to the root of the problem. Those who have committed the offenses must be prosecuted, and now I'm talking to the DPP as well, once the investigations are done. We have no room to save anybody. There is no room to not prosecute to the harshest extent of the law those who have been doing this to our little girls. And for you, the little girls who have had to undergo this, be it in Maai Mahiu, be it in Kikope, be it in Salga or anywhere else, I want to tell you that we hear you, we see you, and my team is not out here to criminalize this for you. We are actually here to help you, to work with you, to get you the health services that you may need, the psychosocial services that you may need, to get you back in school if that is what you will need, and also, if possible, to even help you. We do have enterprise funds, we have Wezesha funds in the county, to even help you get, for the parents, if they are not able, get little businesses going, or whatever it is that we would need to do to make sure that these children are not out there being taken advantage of. And for the woman that I saw on the clip talking about you can get these kids by just lying to them to come get a sweet, shame on you. And you should be prosecuted, and you should never for the rest of your life see life outside of jail. You need to be in jail forever, you and your colleagues and those who are doing that. And do not bring that story that I have heard about it was a movie you are playing. We are not stupid, and we will not accept that. So for me, media this morning, really that was all that I was here to talk about, and to let you know, for those who are watching, that there is help on the way, and that I want you to be able to reach out. I think we should have a number where any of our victims, and we are doing this anonymously, nobody will be paraded, that will not be revealed. We are doing it anonymously. I have also talked to some of my friends who run rehabilitation centers. So for those who even need to go to those rehab centers, we are ready for that as well. But that will be based on the report that is brought to us. So I think we should have a number. Do we have a number where somebody can reach? Come here, Cameron, and read the number. Tell the number. Who has it?
Okay, we have a system that we developed in the Department of Gender that is, you can Google from your smartphone, and it will give you a form that you are able to report a case. You can even report for someone else, and that number is nakuru.gpv, nakuru.org/GPV.
Sexualized, but more based on who holds a specific position. For example, I needed the CEO, the chief officer for gender, and it happens to be Madam Cameron. I needed the CEC for education because, as you heard, a lot of these, because these are young children, I need them back in school. It happens to be a docket that is held by CEC ZP. I needed health to be very involved because you can imagine the health part in all this. And that happens, the CEC happens to be Rosalind, who is a lady. I needed CEO Stella because she's also a lawyer in all this. And so she happened to be here as actually, I think she may be the only lawyer in my cabinet, other than myself. And then the director of public health actually happens to be a lady. My public health CEO happens to be a lady. I actually think you need to congratulate me for having very many ladies in very strong dockets across the county. But I also agree with you, Bwana Kioko, we cannot leave out the part of the other gender in this. But I want to tell you, the committee will not have an angle to women looking at the issues from a female perspective. It's just really, it affects the ladies as the victims in this case mostly. But I have also been saying, let us be careful and let us be open-minded and know that even little boys are being abused in our communities. So that's also another big issue. But they're also mothers. So I know they'll be able to balance this. On the issue of the lady who is rescuing, that is, I believe, one of the persons that the committee will be sitting with and helping in figuring out what we need to do post-rescue and in how to rescue and how to reach these girls. CC, our chair of the committee, maybe you can have something to say as far as that.
Thank you very much. I'm very tall. I'd like to acknowledge what you've said about a multisexual, multi-gender, multi-dimensional approach. In fact, because of the creativity that you have shown, we will be reaching out to you for ideas. And we must identify male champions to this cause. That is something we are going to do. Secondly, on the issue of sustainability based on the changing US government policy, we have a categorical message on behalf of Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihika that the responsibility to provide services to citizens is a government responsibility. And therefore, the government has a responsibility to protect everybody in the county. And therefore, all our programming has already pivoted away from donor dependence. In the Department of Health, in the Department of Education, in the Department of Social Services, already you will see changes in the budget allocation to ensure that some of these core responsibilities that were being contributed to by the US government are being taken up. So this is not something that we are taking lightly, and one of the other reasons as to where I'm personally extremely pleased that the secretary to the committee will be the Director of Public Health is because she and the Chief Officer, Joyce, have been working very closely with the community along the northern corridor on similar issues.
Nakuru. Yes, we had a case that was reported in Maai Mahiu on Tuesday. Basically, this is an issue that was aired by BBC on child trafficking in Maai Mahiu. Maai Mahiu is in Naivasha. And then we got interested to find out exactly what was the message that was being heard on BBC on child trafficking in Maai Mahiu. We started an investigation, one by looking at the cases that have been reported over the last 1 year in the Maai Mahiu police station. There was no case of any child trafficking that has ever been reported in Maai Mahiu. And then we analyzed the entire documentary, and they found out that it was an alarming documentary, probably that was meant to tarnish the name of the government. So the DCI checked on the presentation of the persons who were on that clip, and we summoned 5 women who recorded statements at Maai Mahiu police station, and then DCI took over the matter. Then we realized at the same time 3 more suspects still seen through the clip. When they realized that the matter was under investigation, ran away from Maai Mahiu to a destination that we don't know. So we are still pursuing them so that they can record statements. And basically what we realized, there is a commercial sex business in Maai Mahiu. That one we cannot deny. And there is a lady there called Millicent, who actually do some bit of treatment to the various people there, provision of condoms, and it's like she knows the business, how the business is run. But when we checked around, these are people who are over 18 years, meaning they are adults, only that they are engaged in a business that maybe probably could be not a good business. But the concept of any child who is below 18 years being engaged in sexual matters in Maai Mahiu, Naivasha, and this county is not there. So we have left that matter to the DCI so that we get more information, because our analysis, even though I'm not an investigator, was showing that these people who were in that crib that was sent to the BBC were promised some money that they did not receive. So we left it to the DCI to investigate. They have recorded a statement of 5 people, and we are pursuing 3 more. Thank you very much.
Just a question. So from the investigation you've done so far, you have identified that this documentary could have been used to tarnish the name of the government.
That is my thinking. Because what else can you say? That could be my thinking. For the last 1 year, no case has been reported. Even when we talked to our chiefs, because the chiefs and assistant chiefs are there on the ground, no family has recorded any case of any child having been engaged in that business.
In the scenario you're talking about, no family that was has ever come forward to give that report to the police officers. In that documentary, the bigger part of it, they're saying that the kids that have been lured are orphans, mostly are orphans. And do you feel that the government is trying to bury its head in the sand because this thing of the underage is something that is even very rampant at Salka? So saying that there were no underage, is it that the government is trying to bury under the sand? What is happening?
You know, I would ask just a simple question. Can you be harassed sexually even if you are an orphan and then you don't report? That is the question I will pose, because I have not seen it. When you talk of an orphan is somebody who has no parents. Maybe he could be having a caretaker and he has been engaged in an illegal business. It cannot just run away and then nobody comes and report that this one is happening. But what I would appeal is this. We are not offensive as the government. I would request that if there is any caretaker of any orphan that have some information that children or those orphans are being used for prostitution in any of the exit town in this transit points in this county, better report to us, because we are also concerned that business is causing a lot of issues in terms of HIV transmissions. If you look at our records, I think we are not doing very good, and they are there in Maai Mahiu, part of Naivasha, Kikope, and Chachangwan. So if there is any case, let our people report it.
Come and rehabilitate those kids. They need medical assistance, urgent. They are going through trauma. Denying does not solve the problem. And if anyone wants to challenge me on this one, I'll take the mic and I'll go on a track and name particularly police officers who are also clients. I'll name them by name. There's no need of denying. I respect county commissioner. I know their brief is to defend the government, but this time you are defending rotten tomatoes. This is not about government. It's about humanity. It's about individuals who have opted to live like beasts. It's about men and women driving big trucks, 40 tons, 30 tons, and they think they come from another planet. And the monkeys we are supposed to be put under that torture. It's a shame. The conditions under which these girls are and those kids are so dehumanizing that they deny the total dignity of humanity. That is the truth. And let's not even debate about it. We should sit here, like I do, to congratulate BBC for making us wake up to talk about what is ailing us. You are better off walking naked in the street today, as Mheshimiwa as I am, than to try and cover a fact that our young girls, 12 years, 13-year-old, and by the way, even as early as 2010, at some place in Karisoi, there were 13 girls, aged 13, who were pregnant. And when we investigated then, why they were pregnant is that the boyfriends induced them by buying them Fanta, soda Fanta, and one Dazi. We traveled all the way from Nairobi that time to come and see what was the story, what was happening really. And what shocked us is that the same bad boys gave the parents Dazi moja and one Fanta. And now look, and there were girls here who are 13-year-old. Susan Kihika, you are a lady in your own class. Forget about your governor. You collect your 6 girls or 10 girls who are in leadership and behave like ladies for once. Sit down, do something. It's not about a route of government. It's about you people going to hell on the first available plane. If you cannot stop this vice now, if you are going to abate this And why are you allowing those truckers to come and do that business? Does it mean there's nobody collecting that intelligence? I am disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm one of the few gentlemen in Kenya who believe are lady compliant. Be the ladies you are. And if you can't, please prepare for a showdown. And please, I will hate to come and face Susan, like I faced Governor Kinyanjui with Chemasus, like I faced Governor Kinuthia with the issue of 360 people who are still missing, who are chokoras. I would really hate to come and address the media like I am, to tell her that while you are away enjoying your life in Washington, our grandchildren were being abused from as early as 13 at Salga, at Kikopey, at Toltol, at Longonot, at Maai Mahiu, and God knows else wherever. I would really hate to address Governor Susan and tell her, Madam Susan, plate as you are, as you sit there enjoying your breakfast, some girls are queuing up there to offer their services at Kaptembwa for 20 shillings. And overnight, 100 shillings, which usually on credit. And while you are still enjoying your breakfast, many are dying. I'm not talking about anything else. If you approve that, then supply them with the protection gear at least for free, so that at least you can reduce exposure. Because ultimately, all those viruses you are correcting there, because that's a herbivore, it's a reservoir for real bad diseases, will end up in people's homes.